Howdy and aloha, everybody. This is James with Montauk. Basically, I'm just trying to save the planet and all of its inhabitants. Yeah, it's a stretch, but if we have the right people in the right positions, leading our country, the world, etc., we might have some progress. You know, that's going into the dirt uh, quick and into the ditch fast, because we have some people steering this country, like Trump and his. I call it the terrible Trump task force. They're just fucking idiots. It's you're watching other countries have full hazmat suits, and I've seen a few TikToks today about this. Is you have people having full hazmat suits, donned, their whole bodies, just completely everything is, and all you can't tell who it is at all. Because they have full mask, full hazmat suit, gloves, the whole 9 yards, booties, everything at medical facilities in other nations, everywhere. And here we have TikTok people coming on like every, I don't know, 8 or 9 after you see somebody dancing to some fucking stupid song, or you'll see some some idiot try to sell you insurance, car insurance, or something else. You'll see somebody come on that's in the healthcare industry that doesn't have anything. They're mostly out of supplies, and they're wearing the same things, and they're using bandanas and just buying non-prescriptive sunglasses or eyeglasses to protect their eyes. It's just really sad because I don't did Trump do the. By the way, Stevie's here. Hello. She's just hanging out over here. Oh, you know what? I need to get my mic over here. Just kind of get it in between. Hopefully you can hear us. Anyway, but she's doing some stuff on her phone, and I think she'll be following the Twitter. But it's just sad that these people that are trying to, save lives are putting their lives in jeopardy. And there's other people out there that aren't getting paid what these guys are getting paid by far, that are serving you food through a drive-through. Yet their companies aren't giving them enough gloves, masks, Purell, wash, clean, the process, and I've spoken to several people online in regards to what they're giving them, and it's nothing. They have to actually bring in their own Purell. They have to actually bring in their own soap. They've run out of soap. They've run out of cleaning products, and some of the masks, like Stevie, your mask is from your mom who works in the medical industry?
Yep.
Yeah, which is really sad. And a lot of these people are serving food, close contact, touching credit cards, cash, coin, with people, could be 150 to 200, and many people, minimum wage workers out there right now that are putting their lives on the line so that you can get your fucking hamburger. It's just insanity. This is just insanity. While other nations have gone complete lockdown. I mean, if you see the graph, and there's a graph, and it goes up like this. China's getting really hard. They got blindsided by it. Now they've contained everything because they went complete lockdown. No transportation, no nothing, no this. Doors closed, everything. And now, to the amount of people that are infected to the amount of people that are recovering is almost even. It's doing great. Whereas we're, now at 80, close to 90,000 people infected with, I don't like, what is it, 2,000 deaths now?
Yeah, a little over 2,000.
Little over 2,000. And with people recovered as shit. It's like not even 30 or something. I don't know. It's terrible. And this is the reason, and this definitely is because of an idiot named Donald Trump and his terrible Trump task force of fucking idiots. That nobody will stand up to this guy and say, hey, look, you fuck. You're a dumbass. And what I'm surprised at is if you want to take over the White House, I think at a certain point, if it gets really bad, it's like mutiny. You claim mutiny. There's actually somebody mentioned this in a TikTok that you can actually take over the White House um, if it's not if the public or well the U.S. voting republic deems necessary. Which good luck with that because nobody's going to go out to to Congress or the Hill or the lawn or wherever, and they're going. Nobody's going to go say hi. Nobody's going to go talk to them or negotiate with them or, and they know it. It's really sad. It's like we're stifled. We're literally stifled from challenging anybody. After the second stimulus knockdown, there were people that were saying, we need to go storm Congress. And I'm just like, okay, good luck because martial law has been declared in certain states, certain areas, and I'm sure DC is waiting for a bunch of people, right? I guarantee. And there's no way you're going to get out there. No way you're going to get out there. Because what just happened, right, is there's this giant corporate takeover that just fucking happened. And it basically gave giant corporations tons of fucking money. Oops, shit, that's wrong. Tons of fucking money to to do whatever they needed to do. I mean, if you live in California and you get $1,200 a month, you're done. You will be looting the streets because your rent is $1,200 for a studio. If you're renting a room, it's probably $700 to $800, right? So you're screwed. So $1,200 isn't going to do a lot for, you know, mostly 40 million people in California. It would kind of work here because things are a lot cheaper, rent, a few things, but it's still not going to help. It's barely going to scratch the surface of what you need to take care of yourself. Not just food and clothing, but you know there are some people there are companies, utility companies that are extending and being gratuitous in a sense, and not ordered. It's on their own accord to give people their time. Excuse me, the time to take care of those bills. They're pushing it 2 or 3 months, you know, whatever the case may be, and I think that's great. But in regards to here, hey Zox, what's up, man? We're not going to have any uh, audio or visual problems tonight because I'm not going to do a giant, you know, bunch of people yelling and screaming at each other event. And I apologize for that, but it's just we'll probably do it in a few days. I just needed to get a few points across and what's happening. So if you're not witnessing it, the only thing I can surmise out of all of this, and it's pretty simple, we are witnessing, or we just have witnessed, and still witnessing. I think it's not over yet. The biggest money grab and corporate takeover in our nation's history. Now, if you want to say that the virus was planted, or if you think it was created and planted to create this craziness, you might have something. But no matter what the case, or if the timing was just good, just really good timing for these corporations, knowing that people won't storm the halls of Congress, and the only people that are allowed in there, guess who's allowed in there? Guess who's allowed in Congress? Money, corporations, lobbyists. And Zox said, I think we're going to watch millions of starve like in Russia in the early 1990s when they collapsed. When the wall came down.
Well, that's Germany.
That's Germany?
Yeah.
Between Germany and Russia?
Russian was that's when all the people were hungry and
oh
Rasputin
yeah, sorry,
was in there. And Yeah.
I wasn't very politically savvy until about 2014, so sorry. But that's good information. Yeah, so we're witnessing that. We're also witnessing, you know, people panicking and doing stupid things, the toilet paper stuff and all that crap. And I mean, the list goes on, but this has just become a huge fiasco. This entire thing is just the biggest thing is if this virus is serious and it is moving the way it appears that it's moving exponentially in a certain direction, which isn't good in our favor because we're not handling it correctly, this could get really bad for the United States. I mean, it's within a matter of days or weeks, we could have thousands. We could have thousands. We could have thousands and hundreds, maybe possibly hundreds of thousands.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Max, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, so I get it. I get it. I mean, there's so many different theories. You know, I don't look at notions or theories as conspiracies. Not anymore. Not after the moon. Sorry, I'm kind of like a not big believer in the moon. I'm still teeter tottering. And
In the
then,
moon, or that we landed on the moon?
honey, you know what I'm
Because
talking about.
things have gotten so bad that there are people that don't believe in the
No,
moon.
no, no. Of course not. No, no. The Earth's not flat. There is a moon. I'm just not big on the fact that we actually went out there because nothing's happened ever since. And a few other things that I've picked up on and a lot of information I've read and seen on YouTube and other things. But yeah, 9/11. I'll put my hand up and say that was bullshit. That was an inside job. You know, after 2008, Standard and Poor's and Moody and all these um, companies that what is it? What is it? What does it say? There's companies out there that that the securitized loans. They were the ones that said it was okay for ever since we got rid of Glass-Steagall, which they all caught on to. And they said, well, let's loan to people that will probably never be able to make their payments, even though their income. And it's not about their character. It wasn't about you know their capabilities. It was knowing that there's people out there that have income that wouldn't be able to make these payments. They knew they were going to fall. So they actually took loans, excuse me, not loans, but they insured.
They bet against them.
They bet, yes, exactly. They bet against them, and then we bailed them out, right? And people are. I was watching Robert Reich, who is he's so close, but he just won't touch his own party. Just will not touch the Democrats, which is really sad. He's talking about oligarchy and he's talking about hierarchical fascism. And I'm all, it's like I want to look at him and say, hey, Robert Reich, you can't be this stupid to not see that the DNC is also part of this mafia. They're the two-party oligarchy, or now I just call them the corporate party, all in one. It's a plan. Ooh, I like that. So Zozilliz just said it's a plandemic. I like that, bro. The plandemic, right? And the Earth is a cube. The moon is flat. No, I think the moon is more. I think the moon is more of like a football, right? Whatever shape that is, whatever geometrical shape that is. But yeah, the plandemic, right? Oh, it's flat cheese. There's all those cartoons of the past of the cheese. It's made out of cheese and stuff. That's fucking funny. And then there's some other aspects here, and then we'll get into Bernie and other stuff like that. But it was just so easy for this to happen, and they didn't fight it. It's like so it was based on time when you're probably not going to get your check for like 2 weeks, right? Or maybe 3 at the most from what we're hearing, which most people have been out of work for 2 or 3 weeks now, like completely out of work. So this is really going to hurt for a lot of people. And it's going to get to that point right before those checks come in that I can see some looting, I can see some martial law happening, I can see some serious shit going down, because it really is going to hit, even when the checks do come,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be enough for a lot of people. And 1 million, is that true? 1 million military reservists recalled to duty. And I'm watching this TikTok today, and this guy gets on. He's in his military camos, you know. And I was in the Navy. I get it. I'm patriotic and all that crap. And I love the country, and I want to protect it, not this way, not this way, not domestically, which I think might happen. And this guy said, "People, stop taking pictures of us in our big caravans. We're here to assist the medical people." Blah 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 blah. Okay, but if your general or your admiral or your major gave you an order to to shoot that American, what would you do?
Mm.
Right? That's martial law. And because of the National Defense Something Act, NDAA, right, and the Patriot Act, Congress, or excuse me, the president can appoint somebody, and he doesn't even have to say who, to make a determination on who's a terrorist. And they can incarcerate you. They can get out a stamp that's on a speed stamp that's on a wheel, and speed stamp everybody as a fucking COVID-19 terrorist, right? I mean, if we were to go out to the halls of Congress and go in and just start coughing, yeah, we would be in jail.
Biological warfare.
Biological warfare against the people that have fucked us, and they're fine. You know, $174,000 a year is okay, but you know they've made their investments. It's already been shown that for decades that a lot of the legislators, judiciaries, executives, they've known where to put their money, stock-wise, investment-wise. They've known this for decades. I mean, insider trading is the reason for the legislation.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one of them just got caught doing that.
Yeah, that's just one. Yeah, one of them just got caught, in a sense, insider trading, helping to create and build a law, and then investing or divesting in the company that's most affected by the bill. And this happens a lot. It can be directly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Nancy Pelosi isn't doing it directly. You know, Chuck Schumer isn't doing it directly. You know, Joe Biden isn't doing it directly. You know, the Clinton mafia is not doing that directly. They have people assigned to do these, to move this money around, to take advantage of the laws and the rules and the crap that they write off on and sign on to. And everybody's in it. Not just the Dumbocrats or the Dumbo cants, you know, legislators, judiciaries, and executives, but also the Republicans, you know, definitely. They're in there. They're doing it. And what's, I mean, I'm just, this is a perspective that I have and a lot of others. And when you put all this stuff together, we just can't do anything about it.
Yes, we can.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna pause on that. I'm gonna go change my shirt.
Okay, I will talk about it in a minute, because she thinks we can overcome this. I'm not saying that we totally and absolutely cannot. I am not saying that. I'm just saying right now, I mean, she mentioned the other day, now she left the room, now I can talk shit. She mentioned the other day that, what are we going to write? A disgruntled email to our legislator, or Senate, or House representative? They've been fucking laughing at those for, no matter what you say, I don't know what that's doing. I don't know what that's doing. And then you have, it's like you believe you're voting for a party that's actually going to help you. And I'm talking about both parties. So you know what? All LGBTQ, all racial stuff aside, all you know, for Second Amendment rights aside, all that shit. Just put it aside for now. I'm talking a basic core shit. You know, being able to provide for your family, having health care. I mean, if you're on this planet, and if you don't, if you don't think it's important to have full, comprehensive, universal health care with no copay, then you've lost your mind. Because in other nations, this is happening, and people are being very well taken care of. Very well taken care of. Let's go back hundreds of years, maybe even thousands of years. Where you hear the term, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it's the same village that took care of each other. It's the same village that people entrusted themselves to each other to take care of each other. There was a barter system. There was a way they could do things together to make sure that they would have food in the morning and food at night, and the hunters would come home at night. What the basic thing that I'm getting to is they really came together. Not one person was more important than the rest. You know, this was they did have many times some hierarchical position, but only basically for guidance. You know, and those were usually the elders. You know, ones that actually didn't have dementia and cognitive decline like fucking Joe Biden does, right? People that were just brilliant, you know, and full of wisdom with what they had to say about the animals, the plants, the soil, the earth, just very connected, you know. But we've gone so far away from that. We have moved we have moved so far from that village that we're just completely dependent on these corporations now, you know. I find it just really terrible and ridiculous. That is that your shirt? That's not the one you want? And you know what? I don't like those. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's like, babe, I like the red one. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I am really kidding.
You turn the camera off for just a second. Let me get situated.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. We'll be right back, guys. BRB. Keep it coming.
Tell you to take a sec.
What? Hang on. I've got to push this back. They'd rather see you anyway. So.
Wait.
Some water. Give me some agua, please. Over here. Go ahead and spoil them. So what were you saying? So we can fix this, or we can't fix this. We can fix this, or we can't fix it.
We can fix it. It's going to be hard.
Harder than it was the last time we started back in 2016, 2017?
Yeah. I mean, okay. So right now, a lot of people are bored at home.
Right.
Due to the quarantine.
Right.
So they have a lot of free time on their hands to where they are going to be looking into information, paying attention to stuff. This is time for us to plan and get groups together for when the quarantine's over. So we may not be able to march right now, but you know, these kind of things don't happen overnight. We're going to have to get people together. So we can spend this time collaborating with other people, getting information out there, and getting our game plan together for when it's over. Because people are going to be poor. They're not going to be able to pay their bills. The government sure as shit is not going to do anything to help anybody except for the corporations. And there's going to be a lot of pissed off people out there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but how are they going to pay for their internet to listen to us? How are we going to get our message to them? TikTok?
By the way.
Well, some of us definitely need to stay on. You know what I mean? I should start taking donations. You know what I don't know if they care about me. But what I should do is start getting some subscribers. I should get some subscribers.
So
I don't really give a shit about that much. But
I'm internally optimistic. I mean, I know things are bad, but things are only going to get worse.
yeah,
Things are going to get worse. If we don't do something now, it's going to get worse. And I was talking to Jimmy about about this stuff the other night, and I'm like, we've already lived through a George W. Bush presidency. Okay, so imagine 20, 30 years from now, we're going to have one of Donald Trump's kids or one of Hillary Clinton's granddaughter is going to be the next president, and they're going to be vastly more corrupt, more stupid than the people we have now, and the people are going to be even poorer. There's going to be less of them because a lot of people are going to die, and suicides are going to go up.
oh, that's going to happen
There's going to be
now.
going to be a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So we can prevent all that heartache and struggle if we just, but we gotta fight it now.
All right. So step one, stay informed. That's what I'm thinking. Stay in the group. We do have a group of people. I think Jimmy's part of it. Tim Black, Kyle Kalinski's partially part of it. Who else? Lamarl. What's Lamarl's last name? So
Thomas,
Lamar Thomas, Jamal Thomas. The
Convo
political
Couch,
soapbox,
Zox.
Convo Couch for sure.
Mhm.
Hardlands Media for sure. You ever seen those guys? We Are Change.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy, but they're pretty spot on sometimes. Um, what what's that one? Those two black guys. The gosh, Mike and Steve or something. They're
Oh, I haven't
the
watched
Madness. What's it called?
it. Let the Madness Begin.
Let the Madness Begin for sure. They're rational people that are not into the flat Earth. They're not into cheese moons. They're really trying hard to connect the dots as quickly as possible to stay ahead of the game. Because I've always said it's a 3D chess match, Star Trek style. And if you can't understand that, then it's okay. I'll try to explain it for you, or she will before I will. But they are several moves ahead of us, guys.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
they have think tanks.
Gray
they
Zone
have
for
armies.
sure. Name some more off. The Real News, they're pretty good. The Gray Zone for sure.
I don't know them.
I mean, the Intercept's doing pretty good as far as they're not really mainstream though. Nothing mainstream. Black Bear News. We were just listening to what Mox News.
Oh.
So fucking. He's a Bernie guy, but he's to the right somewhat, and he's got a phone line that comes on, and this guy starts talking about, and the Mexicans are coming and they're taking all our jobs and
they're not paying, all the conservative talking points.
It's like, and then I type in the chat, so we just went through just today the biggest corporate takeover / money grab in our nation's history, and you're fucking worried about Mexicans.
Yeah.
Hispanics. Right? And then the topper is, he said, what?
Oh, right before he got off the phone, he goes, let me ask you real quick. Why aren't we judging black people more?
Whoa. I knew he was racist, but that was the topper.
You know who's had it easy? Black people.
Yeah, we need to judge them more.
Isn't being judged enough?
But yes, black people for sure. Hawaiians get it easy all the time. You know what? It's kind of funny. We're like ghosts. We're never there. It's like, what is that again? Oh, it's a Polynesian. They know. Nobody really talks shit about a Polynesian because everybody's Maui. That's right. But yeah, that was pretty sad, and not everybody on that guy's show has that opinion. There was some pissed off people in the chat because that guy actually usually has some pretty good stuff on there.
But that's the sad part is that man is not a singularity. Like there's lots of people out there. And you could tell by the way he's talking, he wasn't articulate, he was struggling, and it was just like, I'm angry Mexicans, black people. And it's
Brown,
just
they're
like, why
not the
are you
same
so
color.
angry, dude? Like, do something.
They're
You're
not
you're you're
Caucasian.
punching down at the wrong people.
I know. Yeah,
But
it's
there's
just
all kinds of, and how do, I mean, like I said it earlier, it would take a lifetime just to unpack the stupidity of that one question. A lifetime. So that's just one man. So, but there's all kinds of people like
that's his
that.
village, babe. That's his village. His village is he surrounds himself with all these people that are just full of misinformation and ignorance, and it's just really bad. I mean, like I've always said, if you watch the movie The Matrix, when they celebrate at the end and they're dancing in the caves, this is like 22, this is like the 25th or 6th century or something like that. And the AI is taking over, blah, 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 if you've ever seen The Matrix. So they're all dancing in the cave, but what they purposely did, which would piss this guy off, is they purposely put mulattoes, people that have my color, right? Mixed breeds. In that was pretty much everybody. And you never saw like a solid. I mean, Lawrence Fishburne was probably the most blackest person in that movie. Everybody else was, somewhat, but there was a reason because it's been predicted that we are all going to be in, which I don't fucking care. I mean, similar in similar colors. And even if we're not, it doesn't fucking matter. What matters is that, there's more joy, less pain. We take care of ourselves, this planet, and all of its inhabitants. That's always been my creed. That's been my core. And I know you're with me. And if you can keep that as your base, I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. And I'm just really concerned. What she's saying is his ignorance, his level of it, the level of ignorance and naivete, and how many people out there that are running with different conspiracies and going in so many different directions. Look, the whole moon thing, I don't know. The whole 9/11 thing, I don't know, because I don't really know. The whole God thing, I'm an agnostic only for the fact that I don't really know if one entity created all kinds of shit. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm okay with not knowing some of these things, but if it pertains directly to me, my kids, my wife, her kids, and our families and our friends, it makes a big difference. And we want to make sure things are well. I mean, that's my goal. That is my goal. What was that a good goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good goal. I mean, what would Superman say? You kind of look like Lois. Yeah, you do. You look like a Lois. I swear to God. Okay, sorry. Is that bad? Is that bad? Is that bad? Okay. All right. So we just got hammered in a stimulus bill, corporate takeover, giant money grab. Bernie, and I told you I'd get to Bernie, and this is something that I'm seeing a lot of. Let me borrow this for a second. I want to show everybody this. Now, Joe Biden, okay, the big pharma, big insurance, warmongering, touchy-feely pedophiliac, now accused of rapist, is just going in a direction that how would you ever want to put this guy on a pedestal for the DNC? But I guess he's just so easy to manipulate. Is that what it is? He's just so easy to control.
I mean, he's literally an empty husk. You just give him a teleprompter and make sure it doesn't
Yeah,
go out, and he
right.
can stumble through it.
Right, so here, let's see if we.
Because they literally have not been socialized. They literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes.
Let me make this big.
Because they.
Wait, who's he talking about?
He's talking about the prison industry. Prisoners.
Oh, okay. Or is he talking about prisoners?
I think criminals in a sense, but then you hear who he's really pointing at. Just a second. Okay, just a second. then you're really going to see what he's really pointing at, okay? Oh, crap. Where is this? Let me see. Let me get this. My apologies. I think that should be like right in the middle of that, right there, I'm thinking maybe. The only thing is when I open it up,
Yeah, I
it
mean,
goes
you
all
just
the way
need
up.
to hear it.
Pretty much, and just see some of it more fine. Okay, there we go. This will be fine. Could let me turn this up. All right, here we go. Boop, boop. Sorry.
They literally have not been socialized. They focus on them now. Not because
Darn it! I didn't do anything.
What are you doing?
they literally
No, it's stalling.
have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now, not out of a liberal instinct for love, brother, and humanity, although I think that's a good instinct, but for simple, pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, for love, brother, and humanity, although I think that's a good instinct, but for simple, pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society. And the truth is, we don't very well know how to rehabilitate them at that point. That's the sad truth. You're looking at...
Wow.
No, you could say the same about our politicians. We
But
have
he's-
predators roaming
yeah.
our streets, killing people.
Wow. I never really listened to that whole thing. That's wow. He's like literally talking about himself. Like Joe, that's you. What better to know what's happening now than thyself, in a sense? Man, that's fuck. That is like, that's so spot on. He's got 6 women back in the day in 92 or 93 that were accusing him along with her. They were all swept under the rug, and then when they tried to come back around, the Me Too movement said no, because some of our people in the Me Too movement are Biden. They're connected to Biden in some way.
I mean, that's literally the whole thing that Me Too was built on.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, just, we're going to totally throw all that in the trash because Biden.
What is that? She's fun to look at. Half of her sad stories.
Oh, who? Kim Iverson?
I don't agree. Who?
I think they're talking about Kim Iverson. Yeah, she just popped up randomly with, like, just out of nowhere recently.
That was weird.
And, like,
Didn't I
with a
say that?
professional setup, I don't know. I just...
No, I one of my things, I actually said that. I said, where's she come from? Who is she? What is this? And all of a sudden, she's like big with Tulsi, right? Like I was big with. Look, I got suckered into that too. You know. Well, anyways, I'll get to that. But there you have it. Biden's being accused of this, and the mainstream media, or CNN, MSNBC, of course, they're all trying to sweep it under the rug. Don't worry, nothing's going to happen. But this could get really bad.
Oh, you know Trump will bring it up.
Oh, fuck it.
You know him.
You damn right.
Isn't Trump the one that sat there and took all of Bill Clinton's rape accusers and lined them up?
Yeah.
So you don't think that
Yeah.
he's not going to call Biden out on this?
Yeah, see, here's the difference between Bernie and Trump. My biggest concern. Bernie, he doesn't have a fucking pussy. He's a testicle. Excuse my language. Because you can
Okay, yeah,
Okay, you know what I'm saying. You guys have heard my thing. Testicles are weak. Pussies are tough. I'm sorry. It's just the way they are. It's you have babies and all that stuff. Okay, all right, a little too much. But that's the truth. That was I'm talking like Biden. Is that a Biden like kind of moment right there?
a little bit.
A little bit like a
I do it
Biden.
to sleep with my wife.
What he say? He goes. I wear this hat because if you're gonna sleep with my wife.
Oh no, he was
And
on
Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel, and he had some baseball hat on, and Kimmel was like, "Oh, that's not gonna get you anybody to like you here," and he goes, "No, I do it so I could sleep with my wife." And I guess he meant like in the same room, but it sounded so
It
bad.
just sounded
I'm
wrong.
just
Like
trying to
right
sleep
off the
with my
bat.
wife. Biden, you're trying to sleep with everybody, I think.
Yeah, it's like that was just so very bad, very, very bad, right? And then there were some other things in there that were messed up too as well. Definitely some other things were messed up. So there you have it. You have Joe Biden, who his entire record is Hillary Clinton to the 10th power, and then Bernie Sanders, who's definitely on another side, but has the fucking spine of a I don't know, a snail, a spine of a snail, or I don't know. It's just a guy. Nobody's. I've said it. Kyle said it. Jimmy said it. Jamal said it. Political misfit. That guy said it. Tim Black said it. Fucking Graham, Ron. I mean, you name it. Everybody down the fucking. Just everybody. I said, fucking go after him. Because Trump is not gonna fucking hesitate. He's gonna make up shit. He's gonna do whatever he can to put you in a bad light.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy said it, and I agree. And I was watching when this happened. He was on Colbert, I think it was Colbert, and he goes, so what do you think about Joe? And do you think he has a chance? He goes, and he right there said, I think Joe can beat Trump. Yeah, I think Joe can beat Trump. It's like right there, you just fucking handed it to him. I mean, that was like the stupidest thing you could fucking say. There's so many things that this guy's either been directed or advised or put or wrongly advised or wrongly directed. And I keep asking Jimmy or somebody out there to talk about Faiz Shakir. And Faiz Shakir used to work for one of Bernie's best friends, Nancy Pelosi, another good buddy, the super warmongering John Kerry, and of course Harry Reid, who fucking hates him. Period. They never got along because Harry Reid was just another Nancy Pelosi. Harry Reid was the Senate leader, right? At the time, the House leader. Anyway, the point is this guy, Faiz Shakir, is Bernie's campaign manager who has ties with the moderate neoliberal corporate class, freaking super donor, APAC, super PAC,
Everything
lobby,
that he's fighting
everything
against.
he's fighting, he hires this guy. He trusts this guy, right? So I've seen Faiz speak. I've seen him talk, and he did a fireside. We talked about this already, but I was pointing out to Stevie, I was going, watch this guy when he's talking. No excitement. I mean, if you've ever seen a rally with Bernie Sanders, he'll get like 3 or 4 or 5 people to come up before him, talk about him, talk about the state, talk about the people, get everybody energized. I saw Faiz Shakir in LA live. I wasn't there, but I was watching it on YouTube. And he comes out, and I swear to God, he put everybody to fucking sleep. It's like he was just going through the motions. Now, I'm not saying you need to be like super entertainer, but this is the fucking presidency of the United States, and you better have your fucking A game on. Because you're on, millions of people are fucking watching you, dumbass. But you could see the way he he carried himself like he just wanted to get through.
Mhm.
He just wanted to get through what he had to say and get off the stage, which is exactly what he did. And I'm like, who was that? That was him? That was Faiz, because I didn't really know what he looked like, but that was the guy that fucking Bernie hired. And then he did a fireside with Bernie, and he was talking about what we're going to do socially is get the algorithms going, and we're going to get the coding and get everybody get more different stuff nobody gives a fuck about. He talked about shit that nobody cared about. And as he had about I don't know, the height of a dime personality. It was just terrible. It was fucking terrible. And this is Bernie's pick. So I've always said, Bernie, this is your ship. It's been your ship since the get go. And you fucking hire dumbass. There's a spot on the fucking lens, but I'll have to wipe it off later. But anyway, that was just sabotage from the beginning. I also said, Bernie, your campaign manager should have made sure you had a task force. You had a group of people out there getting all the information regarding all the processes of each state, informing all your constituents, informing your base on how they need to vote, proceed, get any information regarding any possible colluding or rigging or cheating, basically, that he didn't do prior. There was no chess match. And I know Faiz Shakir definitely knows how to play chess. Sorry, I just think he does. And I know Bernie does. But I do know that this guy was the biggest saboteur you could ever have of a fucking campaign. The only way that Bernie is going to get saved, and I'll say it, and a lot of people are saying it. Yeah, no shock to you, Zox. No shock. Chad, I think it's a softball. It's going from Jimmy vibe to her, so it's kind of a shock. But I understand the concern. So I just really and truly and absolutely believe that Bernie just can't. If you watch today, there was a guy on. His name is Matt Stoller. Matt Stoller. He's also been on the Hill or Rising with Crystal and Cigar, and he fucking laid into Bernie. He said some stuff that got Jimmy pissed off. Got him pissed. Like, Bernie is a wimp. Bernie fucking panders to everybody. He's been that way ever since he's been in. He'll fight for this, he'll fight for that, but everybody just fucking just keeps him around just it's like he's the court gesture of Congress. That's the impression I got from Matt Stoller in his interview. Is that Bernie just fucking just doesn't have the fire and the intensity and the aggressiveness that's needed, and that kind of plays on if he can really run a country. Look, I love his issues. I love what he's doing. I love M for all that stuff, but he has to be able to hit it home with people, and he's got to be able to show that he has a defense, that he can put out, that he can do the offense. And he hasn't done it with his friends, right? All his buddies and all his friends. It's just been terrible. So,
to get back to the topic of the video, what do you think is going to happen in the next few months?
Of this video we just watched?
No, the topic of our live
The
stream.
biggest money grab?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I know. I could just go on forever about fucking Faiz Shakir.
So how are they going to use this coronavirus to help out the corporations?
They just did.
I mean, that's the big flashy thing.
They just did it.
I know.
Have you looked at the total stimulus package?
No, I haven't, because I've been at work.
Oh, no, sorry. You've been at work. That's right.
But the thing is there's the big cash money. Everybody's focused on that. But there's going to be a lot of fallout in a lot of different ways, and a lot of, bills that are going to be passed that, may not seem like it's much of anything, very boring day-to-day stuff. But in the end, it's all going to serve the corporations. Now, with this stimulus bill, did it not favor the bigger corporations? Like, there's a smaller chunk that's set aside for the small businesses, right? But
but you had there's some requirements, and
Right.
it's hard for people to get that. They made it really tough for everybody. It's not everybody's getting these checks.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of small businesses that close their doors.
For
And
sure.
when they close their doors, who does that business go to?
The big corporations.
Walmart, Lowe's, Amazon.
Yep.
So they're going to get that. They're going to get the big stimulus package. And they're also purging their workforce. They're getting rid of a bunch of people, laying people off, shutting everything down. They don't have to, do these paychecks, and then once everything gets started back up again, well, look, all these people that were here for 15 years that got raises throughout the year, well, now they're gone, so now we can hire somebody back in at $8 an hour again and restart the whole process. Some of these places are going to open up, probably outsource.
Yep.
So it all goes back to.
Thanks to NAFTA, it's still around.
There's the big chunk of money that we're all looking at that we all see, but there's a lot of other shit that's going to go down the next couple months. They might even outsource like the military. We have to pay corporations for some reason so we can go to war and kill people. They're probably going to do that with medical supplies. They're probably going to outsource some production, Walmart or whatever, pay them a bunch of money to, manufacture stuff.
Yeah, there was a company recently that was charging like $40 for a mask. What?
You can get rid of that dark.
Okay, I don't know what that is. And for the same supplies that you could get, like, I don't know, Walmart, they were charging like 10 times the amount in contracts to the corporations that are going to be buying it, like Johnson & Johnson, because Trump's already saying Johnson & Johnson has been very helpful, and they're here for us. Guess who's going to buy all that shit and then resell it to these? It's just the fucking money grab is going to be so gigantic, and we've seen the tip of it. It just tipped over today, so that all these corporations can start completing the task of the full corporate takeover. It's very obvious.
The roles are all very incestuous anyway, because you've got people that are in the government. First, they might work for a corporation, then they'll become politicians, and then after that, they'll pull a Yang or an Obama, and they'll go work for CNN or Lewandowski or whatever his name was. It's really gross when you see all these politicians end up in media. Obama is a producer for Netflix. They just keep going back and forth because the money's all in the same circle. We don't have it.
No, the thing that gets me the most is it's okay if you suffer. You're an American citizen, and it's okay if you suffer because I'm making a lot of money.
We have politicians right now calling for the death of people. Texas governor is actually saying, well, maybe let a few of them die.
If you're over 80, then you're gone. That's what it was, I think. 80.
Well, he's no spring chicken himself. I'd like to say, okay, You first, dude. You first.
I just have some weird feeling like somebody's got a vaccine.
Because I'm essential, right? That's why I still go to work. They shut down Congress, didn't they? Nobody, you can't go to the, well, not their Congress, but anyway. I'm more essential than he is. That's my point.
You are. You're definitely essential, for sure. Texas governor was saying your grandparents are willing to sacrifice their lives for the economy, is what he said. Quote unquote.
That thing that we can just...
Thanks, Oxaville. That's fucking... Man, that's not even bad. That's like the devil that doesn't even do shit like that.
Why do we have...
How is that not like immediate grounds for get the fuck out of that office?
But the best part was he didn't even say, well, no, he doubled down on it. When he went onto some news channel, they were asking and he doubled down on that statement. Oh my God. we have politicians that say just kill them, just let them die.
Yeah, this is the kind of people that are getting
And
voted in
we
office.
aren't building guillotines yet.
No, I'm actually all for those
And
guillotines.
we're not
now.
building guillotines.
I'm actually, and we should have, I'm all for it. I mean, I know that Chris Matthews is scared, but I'm really looking forward to seeing those town things happen. Those villages come together. And it might even get to that point. I mean, this is pretty extreme to say this, but if they cut us off so bad, we just might have to totally separate ourselves and be completely grid free, meaning produce our own, take care of our own waste, take care of our own electricity. They start get solar out here, start ordering it, start using RO systems, reverse osmosis systems, to produce our own water out of the rain that we always get here in West Virginia. I mean, fuck, I want to collect water like crazy here. I mean, it might get to that point. But the biggest thing I've always told people, and I'm going to say it now, why are you paying federal taxes to people that don't give a shit about you? That is like one of my biggest things is, and I think subconsciously, and nobody likes to talk about taxes because, taxes are fucked. But the state, I'm okay with paying, even though they're just as shitty, especially this one. But as far as federal taxes, do you think these guys deserve our money? It's like this. So I've got employees, and they're supposed to be our employees, by the way. And this employee goes to work. I mean, look at the amount of times the legislation actually is in office, is in the legislature. I think it's about 140 days out of 356 days. I think that's what it's at now, or 130 days. Right? It's like you have an employee that works for your company. You're going to pay them all the time, every week, every month, whatever, every 2 weeks. But they're just not there all the time. And they don't do shit for you to help you. They're doing it for them. It's like somebody working in a bar. Here's a good example. Instead of at that bar, they're not. Instead of them taking the money and putting it in the safe or cashing it out at the end of the night, whatever's left over after there's just the minimal amount that's needed in the till of 10 20s and 5 20s and 10 10s and 25s and $40 bills, just to keep the register going. Everything else is just taken for themselves. And they're promoting themselves at the same time, creating their own business. It's like having the worst employee. Why would you want to fucking pay
And
that
they
person?
are employees. They are
but why
supposed
are
to
we
be
paying
our
them?
employees. But the thing is if they're obsolete and they know it. Because if we were educated, if they let us, allowed us to be,
taxes are probably our only goal, our only way. I'm sorry. Just go ahead.
if they allowed us to be educated, and if we could vote directly on these bills, they wouldn't have a job anymore.
Why are we paying their taxes? Why are we paying taxes to people that don't do the work? State taxes I'm okay with because they're taking my church, my water, all this other stuff that's local. It's important for me. But for them to run a country the way they're running it, I don't want to pay them. I don't want to pay them anymore.
We don't pay them. Look, they make more bank. We quit being their boss because they have a side job that turned into their main job, which is taking money from the corporations. What the federal taxes probably don't even put a dent in what they make from them. I mean, Pelosi is a millionaire. A politician should never be a millionaire, ever.
Ever? No, of course not. Tax. So let's look that up. What is the most? So federal tax revenue.
Oh,
right?
And
by year.
While we were downstairs, there was this video that I think ABC did, and they were putting up pictures of all the people that have died from the coronavirus. Yeah. that they were putting up pictures of people that had died from the coronavirus and where they were working at and all this stuff. This touching montage. I think that Greg Abbott should write a letter to them or go to their house of their families and knock on the door and say, "Hello, my name's Greg Abbott, and I just want to thank you for your family members' sacrifice to the economy." If he really believes that, I think he should go and say and thank the families.
No, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So let me show you some numbers, guys. Right? There it is. $3.27 trillion. Wait, revenues by year. Tax corporations much more than I did. 2015. I think that's U.S. tax revenue by year. Yeah. Right? So it's about 300 and it's probably going to be all the money that we give back to the federal government and federal taxes is a big chunk of money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they deserve that anymore. I just don't. They're just not. They're taking our money and giving it to the corporations who already don't pay taxes. They have subsidies and tax loopholes and why are you giving money that's not going to give you back? That's the biggest thing that gets me. Is that we're just watching this happen. It's like, you know what? I'm going to bail you out, but I know I'm never going to get that back.
And it's gone though, right?
And it's gone.
Because I don't know exactly how it works, but Jeff Bezos is a billionaire. If he wants to be a citizen of a different country, move his business to another country, then don't we just lose all that? It's just gone. We lose all that wealth.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's gone.
What are you doing?
I'm just making your thing better so they can see your name. They can see your name.
So
better.
does that seem smart? Does that seem like a smart thing to do? Is to give it to Jeff Bezos and be like, "You just hold on to that for us for a little while. I'll trust that you'll do the right thing."
The guy that makes $230,000 a minute is tax exempt in a sense. And fucking we gotta pay.
I mean, Boeing has its hand out already. Right. It was like 2 days into the coronavirus, and the Boeing's like, "Oh, I don't know if we'll survive." Good. You should have saved your money. Go drive an Uber.
Yeah.
Pick up a side job. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and find a different way to bomb other people in other countries.
Because you make such great airplanes that kill people. Right?
Yeah.
And there's no repercussions. They still bailed them out. They still bailed them out.
There's no reason. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that they're going to lose their business?
No.
They're millionaires, billionaires.
They're billionaires.
Oh, what, you can't liquidate some stuff? You can't move some things around?
Right.
Go to your bank account?
No, honey, we got some...
You don't have a savings account?
No, we got some old coffee pots and stuff downstairs we could sell, some old pans to make money. You know, we can have a yard sale for sure, you know.
Oh, Snork said Pelosi's husband is an investment banker. Pelosi gets CIA briefing of forecast of worldwide financial risks. Think she talks when she gets home?
Not him.
No, she has too much integrity for
that. This is just, it's so ass backwards. And how it got to this point, like I said, I apologize to my kids and the world and everybody else, because I voted like an idiot for a long time. But they sneak these bills. They sneak these laws. They distract you with Stormy Daniels. They distract you with fucking Russiagate. They distract you with the impeachment trial. But at the same time, they're voting for these giant Pentagon fucking checks to the military-industrial complex, while they're saying they hate the same guy that they're giving the money to. No, I don't think. I honestly really believe that we should all demand that. You know what? I'm going to say, hey, Bob, you just haven't been doing your job, man, and I'm going to go ahead and fire you. So you're not going to get paid, right? You're going to have to collect unemployment, right? So what would happen if we stopped paying taxes to the federal government? What do you think the National Guard would do, right? Because that's who we're also supporting. Wow, now think about that. And this is getting kind of heavy, and I could get pulled from this. So if we stop paying taxes and then we're not paying for the military industrial complex, which they need toilet seats that are $1,200 a piece. You know that's important. And all that, and then they'll start saying, well, you're not paying your troops, which they never pay their troops enough anyway. Because I've been in the military and I was on fucking food stamps. I was in the military with a young daughter, and and most of us were on food stamps because we didn't get paid enough. And a lot of them to this day don't get paid enough. It's just fucking, and all this money goes to building bombs, weapons of fucking mass destruction. And they're going to say, well, we can't pay them, and fuck you. We know what you're using that money for. All your donors, for your donor class, for your corporations, all your campaign finance fucks. That's all you're using that money for. That's why you just bailed them out, because they're going to be there come election time. You take these guys to donate for you, and I'll take these guys to donate for you. I don't know. I don't want to pay these employees anymore, honey. I don't.
I don't know. I mean, I just don't think that that's going to be enough. I mean,
it's a start.
It's good.
Yeah.
But I think that nationwide strike.
Yeah, well, not working.
I mean, look at the panic everybody's in because, like, a lot of businesses are closed down. There's still a lot that are open: gas stations, fast food, hospital workers. There's a lot of people that are still working. But even, let's say, with half the people staying at home, this is it's a panic. So let's just say your grocery store doesn't open for the day. Or your McDonald's that you always get your coffee on your way into work. Now you can't do that. Now you can't get your gas because the gas stations are shut down. Because every single one of these people that works in these places that is essential to your living is making $8.75 an hour.
Yeah.
They are not making enough money to be alive.
No.
Just know that. I mean, every time that you walk in there, you get something essential from somebody. That person is scraping to barely keep their head above water. I mean, it's insane. And
it's
why
bloody wrong.
This is the thing with greed. Greed doesn't know a limit. These people will keep taking. They will keep taking, and they will keep taking. And they're going to start doing even more microtransactions because you know how it used to be. We always have a middleman now. There's always a middleman. And it used to be the corporations or whatever, they would take the brunt of that. But now we're getting all these microtransactions. We're having to pay the insurance that they used to pay. Now they have independent contractors. The people that work at a hospital don't work for that hospital. They work for another company that owns the workers, and the workers just go to the hospital to be nurses. And they make half the money because they have to pay this outside guy. So it's going to get worse. And pretty soon they're going to take and take and take until there literally is nothing left for them to take. And then people don't have anything left to lose. And that's when this is all going to happen because we're about there.
I think we're like there. Seems like we're there. So Snork is saying stores here are rationing most foods and cleaning supplies. Yeah, that's where it's getting to. Zoxalax again. Their central banks are being flooded with petrodollar. Yeah, if you're the club is the petrodollar. If you're part of the petrodollar, you're in the club. And it's like Iran doesn't want to be a part of the petrodollar, so we're going to kill them. Right? That's what their thing is. Those petrodollars are buying your house when it's lost 50% of its value. Yeah, sure will. Soon as it's in foreclosure, which it's going to happen, and a lot of people. Here's what people, I think, are being fooled by, is like my cell phone. they're letting me slide on part of like most of my bill.
Mm-hmm.
I actually volunteered to pay a percentage of it because I don't want to get hit up at the very end. He goes, well, I don't know what we're going to do at the end. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, AT&T. Yeah, you do, Verizon. You know for a fact that after we're done getting our, it's like, it's a deferment. You guys ever heard of a deferment? You know what a deferment is, Sandy?
Yeah.
Okay, so what they're going to do is push it back.
I grew up poor. I know what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. All my life I've been through that for sure. So they're going to defer everything in a sense, so that they're just going to extend the loan or the bill, and then they may even add it on as at a percentage. So instead of your bill being usually $100, you'll be taking care of the stuff that you have been paying with an extra 20, depending how long this goes on. So no matter what, they're still keeping track of this money. Nobody's just forgiving you.
They're not going to forget about it.
No, they're not forgiving. They're not forgiving this, right? I know that there's 4 or 5 banks in California that are giving people extensions, which I think is good on their mortgages, but they still have to pay it. And they're going to find some way to throw an interest rate on it or come to them with something. Snork says, can only buy 1 bag of chicken, and you have to ask at checkout for toilet paper so they can tell if you recently bought a pack. What's the name of this fucking store, man? Is this the fucking wow? What's the name of the store, Snork? I'm thinking we're going to the grocery store.
Oh well, Zox. There's a lot of stores because I know you said you had a lot, elderly family and health issues and stuff. There's a lot of stores that do like curbside pickup. So you just I think Kroger's does it. I'm not sure where you are, but Kroger's does it. You can just call or go on their website or whatever, give them your grocery list, and then you just pull up, give them the money, and pick up your groceries, and you don't have to go in and risk exposure.
Which is smart. You can do the online ordering.
Minimal risk.
Walmart has the same thing. You can do the online ordering. Yeah. Which I think is the way to go, But you guys don't go to the drive-thru.
I know. Jimmy's going stir crazy too. He's not. This is not good for him.
No, I mean, let me put up. I'm going to pull up the thing that I wrote earlier today because I think it's important. Because my wife is important. I'm going to post it real quick right here. Just give me a second. And it has to do with the facts, Jack. It's all about the facts, my friend. So if you look at this, let me see if I need to make it smaller. Yeah, a little bit smaller. All right, I don't think you guys will be able to read it because it's kind of big. But at the top of it, it says, I'll make it bigger so we can try to go through it. Fast food / drive-through workers risking their lives and yours for minimum wage. And basically what I go through here, so I'm not going to read the whole thing fucking verbatim, right, is there's about 200,000, 220,000, I don't know, just a fucking ton of drive-through windows out there. And these people that pull up, you don't know if they're infected or if they're not infected. You don't know. But the biggest problem that people don't know, if you look at the bottom here, what I wrote, please enjoy your food, but know that these minimum wage workers are very ill-equipped. And I brought this up. And most don't give a shit at this point. They're just like, fuck it. Because they're getting paid shit. They're scared shitless. They don't want to go.
Well, these are also workers that don't have health insurance, that can't take a sick day, can't afford to take one, even if they could, and their bosses breathe down their neck if they do to call off, and it somehow, you're supposed to go through your life without ever being sick. Yeah. So these are workers that are overworked, underpaid, no health insurance, can't call off, and if they get sick, they are conditioned to ignore their symptoms and just show up to work.
Yeah, that's the guy
you hide your symptoms and you show up to work.
Yeah, that's your person you want serving you food. That's the person.
Because if they miss 4 hours off of their check, they can't pay their rent and they can't feed their kids.
No. I mean, Okay, so you work for the healthcare industry, and you're what's the least amount of money they're getting paid over
Let's see. I worked in a surgical trauma intensive care unit,
there? Right.
and I made $10 an hour.
Okay,
The
so there's
nurses,
some
the
there.
nurses were making 18, which
So
is fairly good money for around here.
yeah,
But to do the work, saving lives, doing the work they were doing, 18 plus all their school loans and their debt from that. Um, that's not really
that's
that's
not
not what
nothing.
they're worth.
That's not nothing. It's not enough. So obviously they are getting paid more than your minimum wage worker, for sure, for sure. Um, you guys just please, if you can, read that. I know it's might be a little blurry. And are you checking the chat? Because I want to see what's going on with that. But the biggest problem. Oh, that doesn't. That looks really small. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Oh, I went in the wrong place. My bad. I'm going back. Okay. All right. Back. Right. Back. Okay. So there it is. So if you take those numbers, let's just round it off to 200,000 fast food restaurants, right? Drive-throughs. Let's just say there's one window, right? And there's an attendant that's taking your credit card, and you don't know if that credit card has a loogie on it, spit, saliva, germ, virus.
I get money and debit cards. People pull out of their bras, out of their shoes,
out of their crotches, whatever.
wad it up.
Right.
It's sticky. Why is the money sticky? I don't know. I don't want to know. Ugh.
Yeah, but you're wearing gloves, right?
Yeah.
And you do have your mask on. But the thing is if 150 people go through there, and then you multiply that by
and then
200,
they go home to their families.
That's 30 million people at the very least going through drive-through on a regular day. Mm-hmm. Now, sit-down inside restaurants are gone.
That's what people are going to.
And you've had lines now.
Yeah, I mean, we've been fairly busy since every time the governor calls for a quarantine, we get a rush. Every single time. Right. Every time. And you know who it is? Not a whole bunch of young people. I'm talking 70-plus-year-old people.
That are fucking clueless.
I mean, most of the people that I've seen out are boomers.
Yeah, because they're all watching.
Because the young people are like,
they're probably watching Trump, and they don't think this is. They think this is all a fucking hoax. We're in West Virginia, by the way. But do the numbers. That's 30 million people a day, at the very least, going through drive-through.
I mean, honestly, the healthcare workers. The essential employees,
the quote unquote
these
essential.
are the people that need to be screened right now. Because if they're going out, if everybody's staying at home, doing what they're supposed to be doing, right. The people that are out and about, get them tested first to make sure they're not, creating more of a problem.
Right. You definitely, because you're supposedly an essential worker, you definitely should be tested. What if there's, just out of the 200, let's just say there's. Out of the 200,000, there's 20,000 attendants that may or may not know or may have been infected that are spreading it.
Yep.
Right? Or here's the big, even if they're wearing gloves or not, the thing is you can't change your gloves every time there's a transaction. You can't.
No, they actually told us not to use so many gloves, to ration them out.
To ration the gloves. And you have to bring in your own Purell.
The whole purpose.
And you have to bring in your own Purell. And they're, like I said, they're very ill-equipped. These are the worst people to have out there doing this ever. And I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about the position that it is. It is the greatest and spreader. So all the countries that have kicked the coronavirus in the ass, that have done well, have shut that down.
I mean, considering that we don't have health insurance for people, and considering that most people are working 2 to 3 jobs,
they're tired.
There's a lot of.
They're clumsy.
There's a lot of of
Mistakes.
essential employees out there, that at the very least that this is that's what's so mind blowing to me. It's like how did we not see this coming? I mean, if it wasn't coronavirus, it's going to be something else. There's always
They're
going to
making
be a
mistakes.
virus.
They
And
are
what
making.
happens next time? Because I guarantee you we're not going to learn anything from this. So what happens the next time there's a new virus or flu that's out?
Well, babe, like all day and for several days, because there's no work out there. I have been posting that to whoever I can. I sent a letter out to UCI, University of California, Irvine is a big medical college. UCLA, pulmonary, what the hell is it called? They work in respiratory and lung stuff. Pulmonary, whatever. Like the top three, some Jewish hospital, Cedars-Sinai, UCLA, and a few others. I sent letters to some doctors via email saying, and gave them that same situation, that same scenario, or just basically what I've gathered just by watching and paying attention and doing my own research. And I want to see what they come back with me with, because I've spoken to Orange County in California, the Orange County Health.com, some people there that said they're actually trying to push legislation. They're trying to push legislators to stop drive-through. They're trying really hard right now. Hawaii people just kind of. I was talking to people in Hawaii, the health organizations in Hawaii, and I was telling them the same things, going over the same scenario, and they're like, "What? What are you talking?" Okay, listen again. This is the way. Here's the process. The person comes up, reaches for the card, takes it from the person, swipes it, touches the screen with the germ, gives it back to the person. So the next person that comes up takes that same glove that you just touched that card from that could have had or have been infected and gives it to the next person and gives it to the next person and gives it to the next person. And then they might go on break and change their gloves and maybe wash their hands at some point, but they got to get production. They have to stay within that 3 or 4 or 10-minute mark to make sure the customer is taken care of with their order.
Oh, well, that's the other thing is we're allowed a certain amount of, it's called labor, but it's productivity. So you can't have too many workers on the clock. If you're, whatever. So they want us to still do all the intense productivity. Think of like how Amazon runs a warehouse where they have to wear diapers. I mean, that's how they run Little Caesars. I mean, if you're not crying by the end of your shift, it's you're spending too much money on the labor. So and on top of all that, now they've added we have to disinfect everything and wipe all the contact surfaces down every 20 minutes. But they're not adjusting their labor to account for that work. So you've got overworked people that have to remember every 20 minutes to wipe down all the surfaces. And that's a lot. I mean, we're talking debit cards, pop machines, door handles, counters, register screens, handles on everything. So I mean, that's a lot. That's a good 5 to 10 minutes to wipe everything down, and that's just unaccounted for labor that somehow we're just supposed to shoehorn into everything else that we're already doing. So obviously, some things are going to get missed. Sometimes gloves don't get changed.
What are they saying? Is everybody understanding this?
Yeah.
Because I really think. Okay, so let's look at it. Let's look at it from the point of view of the corporation. Fuck you, make your money, die. You're expendable. That's it. That's all they have. That's what they're gonna do. They're so funky. That's all right. She's still here. She's just taking care of a few things, watching the chat and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And you guys can hear her, right? Let me get a thumbs up or something or whatever. Okay, they probably would rather see. And Jamal is on. What's he talking about? I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna go look at what he's talking But I don't think we need to pay these people any money anymore. I'm just saying that for sure.
Y'all don't have any money to pay them with.
Yeah, you know.
It's like
Yeah.
that Disney movie Robin Hood, where the old sheriff comes around and he starts shaking down little kids at the birthday party for gold coins.
Right.
That's where we're at.
How can I hold on? I got ABC, RT, Tim Black's on. Let's see here.
Much as I love Bernie Sanders, I've donated
Tim's right
to him
there.
about 6 different times, any little bit extra that I can. But he
Tim's been on here
did not
before.
capitalize on his political capital that
Jamal
he
used
has
to
right
be on
now.
Tim.
And
He needed to
Jamal used to be on
mobilize
Tim.
his movement.
Until,
He needed to drag his heels.
Until the
until
fallout.
the
To get
giant
his party,
T word
quote unquote,
incident.
Right.
on the
And
same
then
page.
Evan
As
got
little as
screwed
they
over by
are,
Tim, right?
that all agree
Remember that?
Mhm.
Americans are
Took his money and
intrinsically
ran.
not connected to the profits.
Oh,
of
there's
these
Julie Love.
corporations.
She's on Tim's show.
I cannot believe that
She's hanging with Tim.
4 months of unemployment
That's
is
cool.
an equivalency to
There's still a
the
few people.
generational
Where's Rebel?
disparities
God,
that
I
we have
miss
now
that
signed
lady.
on
She
to
was so
with
cool.
our leadership doing us the way they did.
Okay, well, let me see.
They did not
Look for
call a
Jamal.
vote because in the future
There
will be no names to be had.
political.
I don't know about you, but at my job, if I don't do my reports, if I don't do this and that, if I don't serve a table correctly,
No. No, that's not. Okay. I'll just put on Jamal.
Bernie Sanders still has chances. Joe Biden threatens to dodge. Debating.
And these people attacked her, and she herself is being attacked. This woman is accusing another guy, a person, Joe Biden, she was a staffer, of rape.
Yeah.
And they turned around and attacked the accuser as if
Hey, could you
her
turn that
story
up
is
a little
not
bit?
somehow
The volume?
credible. It's utterly astonishing. And then they made this
Thanks.
argument that she was some kind of Russian
Oh, it's
plant,
getting late.
or
Shit.
that she was pro-Russia. And because she was pro-Russia,
But
that
everybody's
somehow
up.
guts a story on Joe Biden. It's fucking ludicrous. But add this stuff up, though. You have a situation where you have a crisis, an
Who's on
emergency. In the context of that crisis, there is really no Democratic opposition per se. I mean, basically, it's the Republican world. They're running with it, and the public is acknowledging that the Republicans is running with giving Donald Trump higher approval ratings in this during this particular crisis. Joe Biden is supposed to be the Democratic frontrunner. As a Democratic frontrunner, you would expect him to be the leader of the opposition to some degree. He is nowhere to be found, and when he finally does come out stumbling wherever he comes out stumbling from, he's incoherent. He can't put together words.
No, he can't.
I like his setup.
I know he's got some cool. Look at that. He's got Star Trek. Oh, we're such Star Trek. I mean, we're all in this, right? He's got all of them. He's a Bernie guy right there. We're 7 of 1. You don't have a freaking. He doesn't have 7 of 1 in there.
7 of 9.
There was a 7 of 1. I'm kidding. 7 of 9. Darn it. Oh, he's got Pickle Rick in the corner. Pickle Rick. That's fucking cool. All right. Anyway, we're all here trying to do the same thing. I mean, I really just want to say, as far as drive-through is concerned, that's definitely got to be handled. I mean, definitely. That's something that definitely needs to happen. It's 2D. Everything's 2D. That's funny snort. But we're going to close it down here pretty soon, guys. I think the takeaway from today's stimulus is it's almost like it is, I don't want to say it, Plandemic. I like that word. Wow. It's like Zozilliz. I can never say that name. Zozilliz. It's like a plandemic to help the biggest money grab / corporate takeover in our nation's history. You know, surpasses everything else. Surpasses 9/11. Surpasses so many other instances. You know, manufacturing like some really amazing consent to the 100th power to give them the ability to do what they did. And it's nobody wants to say that this is a conspiracy, but I mean we're getting people from China saying that it was taken over there. These are officials that have said we have proof or something saying that somebody or it was leaked or something that somebody brought the coronavirus or this one COVID-19 out here, and here's what's interesting about it: as COVID-19 was in Wuhan, and just a day or two later, Iran started getting it. Right? That's pretty fast.
Yep.
Right? Just whoop! Wow, that's fast. Like the fucking virus just took a fucking supersonic jet over to fucking Iran, and it started. All right, Rebel Cage Rather, I miss her. She was so cool, and a lot out there. Anyway, listen, guys. The next show I come up, we're gonna have open mic. I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow night or pretty soon, but like I said, the biggest takeaway, I think we just had like possibly the biggest pandemic, and the biggest corporate takeover I've ever seen. But even if it was a pandemic, it's still not good. The way the curve is running and the way this thing is taking out people left and right isn't good. But when I hear Trump saying we're going to be open on Easter, you're like, how does he know that? Will we have a handle on it? Did he fucking jump the gun?
All I'm asking for is some consistency. Either it's a quarantine or it's not. You can't. There's no half measures in a quarantine.
No, there's not.
Either you're locked down or you're not.
Yeah, that's why China's just got a great handle on this thing now, and that's why these other fucking nations that are doing the super lockdown and have basically beat this thing. But if this country keeps entrusting its leaders with tax money, like we do, we pay these idiots when we shouldn't be. Thank you, Max. God, I should be paying Max because he always says some cool shit. Tonight's live stream is excellent because it's extremely informative.
Oh, thank you.
God, Max, dude, you need to come on here sometime. God damn it. China hasn't beaten. No, they haven't fully beaten it yet. Of course, no. But they've made some great strides, and they've acted so fast, where they don't have full control, but they have 10 times more control than what we have right now. 10 times. So with that being known and that being said, we still need to make sure that we're all safe. We still need to make sure we take the right precautions. We need to not listen to people like Kate Taylor, who works for the Business Outsider, that actually published an article, and several of them, that it's okay if somebody with the virus coughs on your food and spreads germs on your food in fast food. She actually fucking said that. That's in my last video. It's in my last video. That actually, this fucking idiot actually said these things. You know? It's like, I just got a little Ebola. It's on your fries. A little Ebola with your fries. Have a little fucking SARS. Give it a little bit of SARS to you. You know? Fuck. That's insanity. But she is paid by McDonald's. She's paid by the corporation. She's paid by Starbucks. She's paid by Chick-fil-A to write those articles. Right? And is exactly what's happening with mainstream media. They're not owned. They don't put information out for us. It's for the 99%. They put out information to control the 99% for the 1%. And I brought that up for years and years. So anyway, we still have a lot of investigating to do. I really want to get to the numbers and see where everything's coming with the stimulus. The other thing is I want everybody to be safe. I'll be back in a few days. But if something comes up where I need to get on and say something, I will. I will. Have fun watching Jamal, Tim Black. Jimmy Dore still got some good shit. Bernie, fucking grow a spine. Grow a motherfucking spine. Put on your brass knuckles and fucking go after these people, because I swear to God. And Jamal's saying that he's got a chance. Well, the only chance that I know that Bernie has is if Joe fucks up so bad.
No.
Which I think he's just got enough cognitive ability to squeeze through.
Mm.
And that's the sad part. But if they keep persisting with this, I don't think this girl is going to want a settlement. I want to follow what she wants to do. I want to see if she actually persists in wanting to have a trial with jurors. If she wants a full trial with a juror, then this could be really bad. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to that. Because if she's going for the money grab, trust me, they're going to fucking pay her. Now, if she's trying to find justice for being assaulted in this manner of what she stated, which was pretty fucking wild, that was on fucking Rising, with Crystal Ball. I mean, after she spoke, they're just like, they were in fucking, I watched it live. It was, wow. I was like, holy fuck. So if it's going to be deemed frivolous if it just goes to a settlement. If she wants to go all the way to a full jury trial, then Joe's fucked. Then I think Joe's going to be fucked. And I think those
Wait,
other...
what year did it happen in?
92, 93.
Is that within the statute of limitations? I think it's 30 years.
It's 30 years. Yeah, it is. It is. It's within the statute of limitations. So hopefully she won't go for the settlement. She'll stay with us. And that's a question that people needed to ask her, which nobody's asked her yet. Or do you want this to go to a jury trial? You fucking damn right. That's the answer I want her to give. Or she just wants to say that to get more money. Who fucking knows? I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying if it goes to a settlement, it's over. He gets a pass. He gets another pass. But the only other way that he can fuck up is if he just completely and absolutely has no way to fully communicate anymore. Which,
he's about there.
even if he's mumbling, they're still going to use him. I'm running for Senate. Oh my God, that's just so bad. That is just so fucking bad. Oh, right. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. If you're trying to sleep with my wife. Hairy legs. She hates when I bring all that up. Hairy legs. Right? You guys ever seen that?
It's like secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
You see somebody do something so embarrassing that you feel embarrassment for them. Like it's like that.
He's embarrassing this country right now. Yeah. Donald Trump and him would be like putting fucking Dumb and Dumber. Oh my God, that's it. Hey, Chad, do me a favor when you get a chance. I'm going to do a backdrop and go with this. Get me some pictures of Dumb and Dumber. I know you can do this because I don't have the Photoshop capabilities just yet, which I need to start working on. Get a picture of the Dumb and Dumber guys, but put fucking Trump and fucking Biden on there. That would be fucking awesome. Thank you guys for listening. Couple days, we'll have an open mic. But listen, I got to tell you, open mics, guys, if we have more than 3 or 4 people, we're going to have turns. Last time, Kevin came in, got fucking ballistic, and I had to boot him. And Kev, I fucking love you, dude, but and I know you like to interject, but people just, it distracts them from their thoughts. Even her just saying something to me, because she distracts me all the time. It just happens. It just happened. Anyway, talk to you guys soon. You want to say goodbye? Come and say goodbye real quick. Hey.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Aloha, aloha.